Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. This time it's going to be of the brand new Hasbro Marvel Legends series Spider-Man Retro Collection Spider-Man Unlimited figure. Very cool to finally have this version of Spider-Man here. A version that a lot of people have been wanting in the Marvel Legends line for quite some time. Now, I felt like I had watched this cartoon years and years ago. And I had to watch a quick synopsis on it, and I realized I do not remember this cartoon at all, unfortunately. I did still want to pick this up because it just looked like a really fantastic and unique looking Spider-Man for the collection. This is the retro style card that we have here. First of all, I just want to say I got this from Target. I got this past weekend, actually. And then I was actually today, so it's Thursday today. I think I got this Saturday. I was able to find Agent Venom, so Agent Venom's review is coming after this. I'm just giving you a quick look at, the figure in the box, how this card looks. You do also see where it says Spider-Man Unlimited there. Now, it does say up here, nanotech suit. So, again, I want to stress that I'm a little bit ill-informed on this review, simply because I do not remember this comic at all, and I don't think I watched it. But I still wanted to review this. So, maybe we could get like High Evolutionary from this cartoon, or even the versions of Venom and Carnage in this cartoon. That'd be cool. But what we have so far, not looking too bad. So let's go ahead. Just one more thing, actually. Let's give you guys a look at the barcode in case you are trying to find this. So if you want to pause and screenshot that now. Let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. And here is the figure out of the packaging. I think this is a pretty solid figure. I think they did things very well with this particular figure compared to how it looks in the cartoon. There's some things that they probably could have done better. And then just some personal nitpicks on this particular figure without comparing it to the cartoon at all. There's a couple things that I wish they did differently here. But still not a bad figure. Let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories. Don't take a closer look at the figure. We only have 3 pairs of hands in total here. 2 fists on the figure. We'll talk about that in a second. We have these flipping hands. These are very basic with what we usually get with Spider-Man figures. Basic does not mean bad. It's just, pretty typical. It's just casted in this blue color. There's something going on with this excess plastic here. I'm not crazy about that. And then there's a pretty gnarly mold line right here. I mean, it's not super duper noticeable. Once you shine the light on it, it is noticeable. And then we do have these open pair of hands for wall crawling. So just about the standard of what we should get with, Marvel Legends Spider-Man figures, which I do think every Spider-Man figure still needs to come with a pair of holding hands for webs. Not all of them do, but these, again, basic sculpt, not too bad. A little bit of some stuff going on in the palm right there, but yeah, not too bad. Here's a quick image of what this figure looks like with both flipping hands on there, since I'm going to show off what this looks like with the fists. Pretty much the whole time. And then we do have the open hands as well. No Build-A-Figure piece at all with this wave. They don't really do Build-A-Figure stuff with Spider-Man stuff anymore, even though they're still charging $25 for that stuff. And I mean, some people will tell me to cope, but it's still something that's a little bit bothersome when it comes to Spider-Man releases now. But I mean, what we have here is the standard, not too bad. Now, one thing I think a lot of people who are familiar with this cartoon are going to notice here is I am seeing a severe lack of cell shading that would have been in the cartoon. I have a feeling we are getting a version from Hasbro Pulse in the future that does have cell shading like they do with some of the VHS packaging, those figures. And then maybe they'll give us, like, I don't know, High Evolutionary or Venom, Carnage, even like the alternate version of Green Goblin. I for some reason, I just feel like this is where Spider-Man Unlimited stops in the Marvel Legends line, unfortunately. I feel like they needed to fill out, not that they didn't ever want to make this figure, I'm sure they wanted to, but they probably needed a Peter Parker Spider-Man slot to fill with this wave, and they figured it was finally time to give us this version. It still doesn't look too bad. I like this head sculpt here. The eyes are pretty nicely sized. They are painted in white. They are protruding like an actual separated sculpt. The rest of this head, I don't know if it's reused from anything else, if they retooled this, or if this is a brand new sculpt, but it's just casted in this pretty nice red. I feel like this body is the Spider-Man 2099 body from, I think it was the Sandman wave. Not the Pizza Spidey body. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's two Marvel Legends comic, you know, Spider-Man 2099 that we've got. Also, the Sunfire body was used on this. And they've also used it with a bunch of other Spider-Man figures. But I feel like there is a lot of retooling, especially in the torso. You have pretty nicely detailed, this really nice looking spider logo all on the chest. Now, things do kind of break up a little bit because of how you would move that. But, I mean, when it's in a neutral position, this isn't looking too bad. Again, all this is nicely protruded details here. I actually think that the red is pretty clean. That's really not too bad. You even get some protruding details here, even mixed in with the muscles there. And then protruding details where the red is right there too. And they actually painted that pretty decently. We have this web, you know, these web wing, backpack, whatever type system going on here. It is mostly in this white, but getting close to translucent color. I think it could look a little better. It definitely looks a little too plasticky, but not too bad. And then you have some webbing detail and some tears all throughout that. It is ported in there at the very top of the shoulders, so it's really not going to come out, and you're really not going to want to, because this version in the cartoon had it pretty much the whole time. I don't love, it's not rare to this figure, it's throughout this whole line, but I don't love how the paint gets broken up with the seam line there. That's just kind of the nature of how things have to be when you're putting parts together, but it is a little ugly. You have a little bit of some stretching going on there. Now, the detailing protruding, it does stop here, so it's just painted in this red line. And we do have, you know, pinless tech, of course. We have these separate type of, these spider-looking gauntlets are actually pretty cool. They are a separate piece. They're softer plastic. You can remove these, so you can pop these out if you need to. You probably will want to, because these are a very soft plastic, and these here have already warped. I got to fix that somehow. The fists here are pretty generic. Again, not bad, but standard fists that we get with Spider-Man figures and a bunch of other figures in this line. Now, maybe not reused all the time. You know, they'll switch up fist sculpts for certain characters and sizes, but I mean, the hands being reused is my least problem. I'm not speaking properly, but it's very much not a problem with me in this line. Here's the other one. We do have a black speck on this part of the spider gauntlet there. That's a little annoying, but you know, not too bad. Nice muscular detail. Didn't get to mention that. The actual mold here, you know, with the muscles is pretty good. There's even some protruding details where the red, like in the torso, not on the spider logo, where the red meets the blue. And I do think it's just kind of like this again with this line where you have one shade, you know, one tone here. There's no really shading or anything, especially this needs to be cell shaded. I can't stress that enough. But it's just one type of color for blue, so there's no even a black wash or anything going on there. They're typically they don't do that, unfortunately. Then we get down to the legs, and this is where I feel again I can't pinpoint exactly where the reuse is, but this is where I'm thinking that it is reused a little bit. I feel like I've seen these hips and these thighs before, and it's mostly just paint. So molded in a dark blue, painted all the way down with red, and you know, it breaks up when you move that, of course. And I do think that it isn't super easy to get this in there. It does seem a little tricky. There is a little bit of blue coming through on the red, and then a little bit here, but not too bad. That's pretty straight on. I feel like they have to curve it to how the legs can bend a little bit, I guess. But that's not too bad with the paint. Pinless tech once again, with some muscles in the actual molding. Then we have these boot sections where I feel like there should be a little bit of red here. Looks like that's chipped a little bit, but also right here. Whatever the detailing is supposed to be called with how these are done, these are protruding. The paint does look a little bit sloppy on this one here. It's a little uneven where it's like the blue is peering out there. But still, not too bad. It kind of has this texturing going on pretty much all throughout the whole figure, but you're definitely going to see it in the boot section here where it has this type of texturing of,
I don't know. That's just something that is in the mold, though, like the actual sculpt. Yeah, something I just wanted to mention. It looked kind of different to me. Maybe I'm just crazy. Then the top of the feet, nothing really remarkable going on here. A little bit of stretching in the boot there. And then the bottom of the feet, that does have a little bit of a copyright right there. So again, a lot of retooling here. You know, unique head, unique sculpting all throughout. And then, you know, some of the detailing, the spider logo on the chest, and you know how it looks on the back, that gets broken up because of the articulation. That's just gonna be how it is. But with how it looks, I mean, the biggest complaint a lot of people will mention is the lack of cell shading that probably should be here. But if you didn't want to bother with any cell shading, just want to have it all in these very, I wouldn't say flat, but just standard colors, then I don't think it looks too bad either. Let's try to run through articulation pretty quick because it's pretty standard. That was tight. Well, did you hear that break? That was crazy. I don't think it's super duper broken or anything, but it does sound like it was stuck and I just got it out. But yeah, forward, back, side to side. I think a dumbbell joint would have helped this. Actually, really nice back. Forward. I'm afraid that these protruding sections might get chopped up, though, especially like in the shoulders here. This is as far out as it wants to go there. And then it can go, yeah, maybe not. Arms go all the way around. Now, one thing I'll mention real quick. This right arm sits down pretty flush, and I've tried to do my best with this one, but it really doesn't want to. It kind of just wants to stick out a little too much. So I don't really know what's going on there. These are really gummy upper arms. I don't like that at all. But we do have a swivel there, and then the double jointed elbow going on there, and then a hinge. Gosh, back. Yikes, it's kind of hard to articulate these hands for some reason. Forward, not too bad. Swivel, this is going to be for all sets of hands. We do have an ab crunch, so it goes back like this. Forward, actually not too bad. This doesn't really move at all. It's just a soft plastic piece. Swivel up the waist. Legs can go out like that. Doesn't really want to go back at all. Almost a full split. These thighs are also, they feel really gummy here, and I don't like that. We do have double jointed knees. I say this because it feels like the plastic's almost fusing, you know what I mean? Then we have a swivel at the boot here. Not too bad. Down. Up. Yeah, maybe I should do it like this. And then we do have a standard ankle rocker.
Quick size comparisons, we're looking at about 15.5 centimeters around that area. So it's going to be about 6.5 inches in this figure. It's a pretty standard size Marvel Legends figure. I finally found the Deadpool and Wolverine figures in my area recently, so I was able to snag those. You can see with the size comparisons that they seem a little bit taller. I think Deadpool's actually a little bit shorter and Wolverine is actually a little bit taller. I'm not doing reviews of those. It's been too long. There's no point. Far left, standard size Marvel Legends. Spider-Man far right, standard size Black Series Mando. Overall, in terms of Marvel Legends standards, I don't think that this was too bad of a figure. I do think they could have done a little bit more. The number one thing is probably cell shading. I think a lot of people would have liked to see cell shading on this, me included. Just would have been a little bit more bang for your buck in terms of paint apps there. Maybe, with how little accessories that we have here, it's not god-awful amount of accessories or anything, but maybe like an unmasked cartoon head would have been nice. They would have never done that. I'll cope with that right there. But what we have here is not too bad of a Spider-Man figure. I think that if there is reuse here, they retooled it enough to make it feel unique. I really like the protruded details on the spider logo on the front and the back. Should have continued on the forearms, but really only it stops at the shoulders. I do like the spider gauntlet pieces that we have, even though they're a little too soft and gummy. Joint quality here isn't great. Some joints here are just like, they feel very gummy and just not nice to move around, to where it feels like the plastic is fusing and it might snap something, which I really don't like when that happens. But this thing is not too bad. I just think it's a little steep for 25 bucks. Maybe I would try to get a sale on this one. We'll see how Agent Venom fares. Once I get this review up and done, I'll get that one up later. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.